Hi, I'm Caroline Labor, and I'd like to tell you about the awesome experience I've had working with Pat Laverne and being part of his bootcamp. So, before I joined Pat's bootcamp, I had just relaunched and rebranded my entire business, and I had gone from general coaching, general mindset coaching, to specifically focusing on money mindset coaching. So, to be honest, I was keeping myself, pretty busy with my relaunch, as we sometimes do. And I knew though there was a niggling feeling that I was really putting off doing my organic outreach. I mean, I'm naturally quite introverted, and organic outreach is really not something that I enjoy, or at least I thought I didn't enjoy it. So the result of that is I wasn't in a consistent pattern of being in action. So not being in a cycle of bringing on new clients consistently. I was signing them up here and there, but I wasn't in the motion of being able to predict my business cycle. And so the emotions that came with that were largely intense frustration because I knew that I could be doing better. So I had, done a stack of how-to courses already to sort of study organic outreach and lead generation. And yet for some reason, I wasn't taking action. So I knew straight away that I needed to shift my energy. I needed someone who could work with me on, what it was about my character that wasn't wanting to take action here. So what I realized was that I was spending my time getting help at the wrong end of the spectrum. And to use Pat's words, actually, he said to me, it's like you're being taught how to perfect your stroke in a swimming pool, but you're standing at the edge, not even wanting to dip your toes in. And I was like, that's exactly what I'm going through. So, while I am a believer in ongoing personal development and upskilling, what I realized, as I said, is that I had this big energy block and I just needed some help to work through it because I wanted to smash through this really quickly. And so I knew that I needed to overcome my resistance with connecting with people, which, when I'm not overthinking it, I'm actually quite good at. But I made this into such a big deal that I really didn't want to do it. So mostly I wanted to get into this positive flow, positive daily flow of taking action. So I made the decision to join Pat's bootcamp, and it's crazy how I've come so far in such a short space of time. So I'll tell you specifically about my tangible results in a minute, but the main thing I want to emphasize is it's just kind of crazy how I've let go of so much of the negative energy and the bad vibes that I had that were blocking my ability to execute on reaching out to people and sort of making offers for my services. And I just had such intense negative feelings even around the sales process. And I look back on that now and I love my sales calls. Like I've been doing sales calls and I'm like, who was this person who felt really negative about, doing sales calls or telling somebody how much the cost of my program was? Like I can't even relate to that anymore. And we're talking about, it's not even been a month, it's been just a few weeks. And so the result of all of that is that within the first 2 weeks of working with Pat, so week one, we sort of focused intensely on, your character and mindset and all the stuff that I really needed, where I knew the blocks were. And by week two, it was, we're taking full on action. And really by the start of week two, I had booked 4 sales calls and made my first 2 sales. And it was like, oh my gosh, I can totally see how this energetic shift has just gotten me into this flow where, things are happening in my business. And so I really had the breakthrough that I was looking for with my energy. And as I said, I'm now really enjoying the whole process of sales calls because I don't see them as salesy anymore. It's just reaching out to someone, connecting with them, and seeing whether there's something I can help them with. And you know what? If I can, then I'll offer them my boot camp. And if I can't, then, that's great. Hopefully, they get some value out of being on the call with me. So I would absolutely recommend Pat's program, and I'll tell you why. I chose Pat because I could tell from the outset that Pat really cared. I knew I wasn't just going to be thrown into a group program where I would have to fend for myself and go through the same motions of learning the how to and going, yeah, I can do this, but then hitting these energetic blocks. And I knew that I liked Pat's style because I had downloaded his LinkedIn scripts And I sort of liked his non-abrasive, non-salesy or sleazy style. And so I knew that Pat was an expert at the how-to. But like I said, I was looking for something more than, just being a number in a really big group. And I can absolutely say that Pat gives so much of himself and in the right way. So Pat gives you the right mix of support, but also tough love. So, Pat will hear you out on whatever blocks you're having, but then when it comes to results, we track everything. Every decision that I've been making with Pat's help has been based on data. So, Pat will keep you accountable, give you like the support and give you the ear that you need to, hear you out on your issues, but then we get into action. So it's all about getting the energetic shift, but, seeing the results by taking action as well. And, so I have to say overall, I am super happy, like absolutely happy that I made the decision to work with Pat. I'm incredibly grateful that, Pat came into my life. So I had, seen Pat around online for a while, and then things just suddenly came together. And I recently read a quote that said, and I'm paraphrasing here, but it was something like, if you want to accelerate quickly, then find a mentor who's recently walked the path that you want to be on, and then do whatever it takes to work with that person. And right as I sort of got into that headspace of knowing I was looking for someone specific, like Pat was right there, and I was like, I need to work with Pat. So, if you feel that something's maybe blocking you from making consistent revenue, then I strongly encourage you to take the time to book a call with Pat, find out how he can help you, because I know he absolutely can. And, come on in and join Pat's awesome community. And I, guarantee it's going to be the absolute best thing that you can do for your business to move it forward. So thanks for listening, and I hope to see you inside Pat's community.